Hey, Zedheads, welcome to our podcast. I'm Jason.
And I'm Karen.
And this is the Walking Dead cast episode 155.
Big 155.
Yep, it's the last episode before the season 5 premiere. I wonder if there are a bunch of people who haven't been listening to us all summer, but I mean all through the break, but have come back for this episode. What do you think?
I hope so. Yeah, it'd be nice if they did. Yeah.
Yeah, I think a few more people are listening to this one because it's sort of a way to get back into the season.
This is an excellent way to get back
So
in the
welcome
season.
back.
Yeah.
So this episode, we have a couple of cool announcements. We're going to do that in the end segment. So there's a new contest and a t-shirt announcement. So listen to that if you want to hear about those things.
Am I going to be able to win a t-shirt?
T-shirt. Nobody can win a t-shirt, but you are able to buy a t-shirt if you like. You're allowed.
Okay, I'll be the judge.
All right, let's jump right into things.
Attention shoppers, Deadcast Top 5 in 5, 4, 3, 2.
All right, it's Deadcast Top 5 this week. It's our top 5 highlights for Season 4, episodes 9 through 16, so the second half of Season 4. So did you watch them all pretty close together?
I did. It was actually fantastic. I did all last weekend, and it was great.
Wow. That's quite a lot of time to put into this podcast, so I just want to tell you I appreciate that.
It's a pleasure, and especially watching that particular group
stretch
together.
of episodes.
Mm-hmm. And honestly, it's not even that long. If you can spin through the commercials, it ends up being a pretty quick episode. And I dug it.
You're right. It was a pleasure, and I thought it would be even more of a pleasure to see those episodes together because everyone was separated. And you had to wait weeks maybe to see your favorite character before, but this time it just felt like one big long movie featuring all the characters, right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I loved it.
But I really liked those episodes back when we saw them the first time, and I liked them. I think I liked them even more this time.
Yeah, especially knowing what was in store for them. Mm-hmm. It's fun watching it through the second time around when you know what's going to happen and you're watching them and you can shout at the television and they still don't listen to you.
I think you have more fun knowing because you don't like the stress of wondering if your favorite character is going to die, huh?
Yes, I like knowing that all my characters are going to be just fine.
Except for the ones under 10 years old.
And especially if they're little girls. Rough on little girls.
We don't care about them. Okay, let's get going. You want to go first?
Sure.
Right.
My number 5 is pretty similar to one of the ones I talked about last time, which is the Abraham's Army. Dr. Eugene Porter, Sergeant Abraham Ford, and Rosita Espinosa. I love them so much. I was funny looking back at my notes for that particular episode. As some people know, I am not a comic book reader, so I did not know that they ended up being great. I thought that they were just another annoying group of people that were going to make life hard for the people I love, and that was not what they were about at all. They were great. I can't wait to spend more time with them, and I hope I can this season. I hope season 5 will feature more of these characters. I like that they have a positive purpose for being around, that saving humanity, it's kind of a great thing, and they're not trying to kill you or eat you or kill you and eat you. They're there to save the world, and it's so great. And I love the actors. I thought Josh McDermott, especially as Dr. Porter, he's fantastic. His delivery is spot on. I'm kind of in love with him. I have a crush on him. And I mean, when he fires the machine gun, he says, "I was in an amped up state due to rapid firing weapons." I mean, what's not to love about that?
Yeah, you didn't know if they were good or not because when they're first introduced, it's sort of ominous. Or I think Abraham says, "Let's see what you got," or something like that.
Yeah, right. Not very friendly, right?
But it was just to amp up the tension. But and then he fights Glenn and everything. But I love that scene. Rob Sesternino thought, because Tara turns right to the camera and says, "Hope you enjoyed the show, asshole." And Rob Sesternino thought that she was talking to us about the episode we just saw. And the second time around when I watched that, I totally looked like she was talking right to me. They don't usually look right in the camera like that.
But I did enjoy the show. Thank you for asking.
But this is another area where you and I are pretty much diametrically opposed. I mean, I like the characters too, but I don't like the delivery. And I feel like they're a little cartoony, especially Dr. Porter and Abraham too. Not so much Rosita. She actually comes off a little more grounded to me. But one line that Dr. Porter said to Rosita, it said, "I cannot abide a reality where you're the chosen navigator over a son of the South who has successfully negotiated the travails and vagaries of journeys, both real and virtual." And I'll give you, it's funny and it's charming and it's interesting, but to me, it just feels like it doesn't fit in this show. It feels like he stepped out of a different show to me. So it's weird. It's like, it takes me out of it.
Yeah, I understand. But in the zombie apocalypse, there are going to be all kinds of people, including real weird scientist mullet-wearing guys.
I just felt like Milton felt more like a weird scientist that seemed a little more real and less comic booky. He was a little more, I don't know, seemed like a real person. But I don't know. I mean, I'm hoping that I get used to them because, for one, I really like the actor Josh McDermott. He seems like a really good guy at these Walker Stalker cons, and I don't know. I want to like these guys a little bit more than I do. I don't hate them, but they're just not quite gelling with me yet. We'll see.
By the way,
this season.
I understand that Abraham's Army is going to be at Walker Stalker Con Atlanta,
and you and I are going to be talking to them.
Are they going to be at all distressed when I melt into a puddle of love right on stage?
Hey,
is that going to be distressing?
You have me to thank for that, by the way. I asked specifically if we could do that panel because I
Thanks,
knew
baby. You do take care of me. I love it.
So let me go on to my number 5. Okay. So just like last time, my first one is going to be really long because it's just things that I thought were interesting. Second time in retrospect. Because I think that I'm pretty fascinating. No, I'm just kidding. But it's interesting to go back and, like you said, after you know everything that already happens, then you notice things or see things in a different light. So just little things. So the first one that we watched back mid-season premiere, episode 9 after, I looked it up and there actually are big giant tubs of chocolate pudding like the one Carl ate on the roof. I wouldn't have known that otherwise. Oh, no. Yeah, I didn't. I don't know why, but I just thought it was ridiculous. But he said it's 112 ounces. That does seem to be the standard size, and you can get it for $7.39 on eBay.
It's probably served in plenty of school cafeterias.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. It makes sense. Episode 10, Inmates. Beth and Daryl find footprints, and Beth says could be Luke's or Molly's. I guess they're small footprints because Luke and Molly, that's the curly-headed kid and his friend who were with Lizzie and Mika, but said, they told us to go back to the bus. And Lizzie argued, well, we need to fight. And then you didn't see them again. So I just assumed they went back to the bus, but we don't see him again. So but I don't remember seeing him on the bus either when all the zombies came out. So I want to know what happened to that curly-headed boy.
Yeah. Where are you, curly-headed boy?
I don't know. He's probably dead.
He's a zombie.
Yeah. So later in that episode, there's who was it? Somebody comes along, a guy on the tracks who just got bitten. And he says to them, I forget who it was, darn it, but he says, there's a place up the tracks. It's safe. You can take the children there. Oh, okay. So it's Tyrese and the kids. He says, you can, and I think Carol, and he says, you can take the children there. Trust me, please follow the tracks. So it seems like he knows, or he thinks he knows. He's pretty confident that Terminus is actually a safe place. Either that, or he's a huge liar.
Right. Or he's working for the termites, right?
Yeah. But I mean, I watched this second time and it looked like the way he played it, he believed what he was saying. either that or he's just, like I said, a really good liar.
He saw the advertising and bought the advertising.
I mean, he seemed to know, is all I'm saying.
Oh,
But so then Carol said that she saw the end, meaning the attack on the prison, when she bumped into Tyrese, and she saw Tyrese running into the woods.
right.
And so I believed that too, which made me wonder, okay, did she just, after Rick dropped her off, did she just go, I'm going back there to see if they'll take me back?
Yeah,
You know?
I mean, I wouldn't blame her. I think I might do that too.
Yeah. Or try to make amends or go back and
Yes.
admit what you did and see what happened, something like
Yeah.
that.
Maybe she thought that he was just reacting in the heat of the moment, and she thought, you know what? I'm going to go back and talk. There's supposedly a council.
Right.
Let's see what other people think, and let's see. And maybe I can. I mean, it's worth a shot. What's the worst that can happen? She gets evicted from the group again,
Or killed. But,
they were never gonna do that.
Yeah, probably not. You're right. Watching all these in a row makes the short time and that everything happens more apparent. And I thought it was interesting that Bob was about to kill Daryl for some alcohol, and then just a few days later, he's all happy to be alive and feeling all enlightened and stuff. But it makes sense because it was really just escaping that prison attack that made the difference for him. He felt like, oh, my whole group, I'm just realizing this actually. One of my favorite things about Bob, that I think is most interesting about him, is he keeps saying he was in two groups before, one and then another, and he was the survivor. And I didn't get why he was so happy. And he told Sasha, well, because I've broken the curse. But maybe it's because in both of those other groups, they underwent some huge attack like that, and he was the only one that lived. That's why, yeah.
And you could look at that as a curse,
Yeah, because before when we watched that episode, I was like, well, how does he know he escaped the curse? All the people in his current group could still die, but now thinking about it now makes me think, oh, maybe that's how they died last time there was an attack. Or their fortress got breached by a herd of zombies or something. And now that he survived a big attack like that and they're still around, then he feels like he's broken the curse.
Right.
So the next one, The Claimers, episode 11. First off, I don't think it even registered to me that this episode was called The Claimers, because you don't really start learning about the claiming rules until a few episodes later. This is just the one where Rick is in the house and those guys break in.
Right. And you first meet the claimers, but you don't know that they have a whole little claiming strategy.
Yeah. It doesn't really register, I don't think. I mean, there was that scene where one of the guys is sleeping and another guy comes in and says, hey, I'm taking that bed now.
Right. Exactly.
But you don't know that their whole little group is built on this rule. Another thing I thought was interesting about this episode, Rick said to Michonne, I can't be his father and his best friend. He needs you. And after that, she really took it to heart and stuck by Carl the rest of the season and was his friend. And I think that also helps explain why she decided to start opening up to him that episode and answering his questions, because Rick sort of put that on her. Hey, he needs a friend.
Yeah, it was really nice. They were very sweet, those two.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. I liked the scene where they were playing around on the tracks, and Rick turned around, and at first he seemed stressed, but then he's relaxed and smiled. Remember that?
Yeah, and Carl shares his candy bar with Michonne.
Yeah,
so sweet.
It was sweet, and just seeing Rick smile, it's like a rare occurrence.
Yes, it is.
So
it is,
cool.
Especially in the second half of the season. He doesn't do a lot of smiling.
Yeah. Also in this episode, when the claimer wakes the other claimer up and says, who's sleeping above Rick, I think the guy who just woke up should have immediately said, I claim this bed. Now get out of here.
Seems like you'd have to do that all the time.
I know.
God, I claim this. I claim that. Oh, that'd be a stressful way to live.
It'd be like, and they'd be like, I said it first. No. You started saying it, but I finished it before you were done.
See what an awful system that is? I don't like it.
In this episode, also, Abraham said they'd been talking to the muckety mucks in Washington, but hadn't heard from them in the last few weeks, which makes me wonder, were they really? That's interesting. I hope we get to hear more about that.
I hope so.
Yeah. This episode, Joe, the leader of the claimer, he starts throwing a tennis ball against the wall inside the house. That reminded me of Jack Nicholson doing that in The Shining.
Yeah, such a great scene.
The guy on the toilet that had his pants on that Rick killed, he did have his shoes off. So I think you suggested last time that maybe he was cutting his toenails.
Because clearly they wouldn't have a working toilet.
Well, it's so what? I mean, you could still take a crap in there and be on your merry way.
Well, merry for them.
These guys aren't known for their etiquette.
And I suppose in the zombie apocalypse, you could probably, mess up a lot of toilets and not really have it come back to haunt you.
Yeah, just go around and do it. I think I'm going to do that right now in my neighborhood. Nobody's home.
Just take crap in everybody's toilet.
And I was also thinking the refrigerators in these places must be pretty rancid.
Oh, God. And they'd have to open them up because probably some of them still have things like pickles. I mean, wouldn't pickles be okay? Or would everything...
I don't know at this point.
I don't know. Now that I think about it. Yeah.
Probably not. I think you'd learn to stay away from refrigerators.
Don't open them. Nothing good can happen from opening a refrigerator in the zombie apocalypse.
Okay, episode 12. I think we might have mentioned this before, but the title still is about alcohol, but also about not moving on from the past, which is sort of what Beth is trying to get Daryl to do. The golf club, I think we made fun of the golf club for the lawn being neatly cut. But if you look closely, it's actually not super neatly cut. It's pretty raggedy and uneven and patchy. And there's weeds.
Yep.
It's not super overgrown like you would expect, though. So it just
they sort of did the best with what they had to work with, and I tried to just skate over that and just try not to look too closely. Let my eyes cross a little.
But it wasn't perfect at all. It was patchy.
Yeah.
The whole class warfare thing that was sort of going on in the background, the zombie that had rich bitch sign on her. It looked like there was a war between the caddies and the elite or something.
They're always.
I didn't make the connection before, but I think that I was like, why is that there? It's really interesting. I like it. But now I think it was there because it parallels the differences between Daryl and Beth. Later they have that I never game, and it's clear that they had quite different upbringings. Yeah,
he's pretty sensitive too.
Yeah.
And, I would have thought that maybe he spent a little time in the pokey, but nothing to get offended at. I mean,
but you find out that he's never, gotten any presents from Santa, and that he had to hunt in order to eat. And his dad used to spit in the chaw bucket and shoot at the TV and all this stuff. And she's sort of obviously had a nicer experience in life. And so now it just sort of more neatly makes sense why they were showing that class warfare. And then the whole theme was Beth was trying to get Daryl, just let go of that past and be who you are now. Don't hold on to those old things. It's pretty cool.
I like the ending where they set fire to the cabin to let go of all that. Felt very cleansing.
Yeah. Kathy used to have those get-togethers where we would write down things and then burn the paper to let go of them or whatever.
A fire puja. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But this time it's a house instead of a piece of paper.
Right. We're not throwing little sesame seeds into a fire and letting go of the things we want to let go of from the past year.
When Daryl finds the place with the moonshine to give to Beth, he says, I found this place with Michonne, which I don't think I heard before, but I think he'd been out on runs with her looking for the governor or something. And so I guess he'd already been there, and I bet he and Michonne drank some of it too.
The crap shack that eat in the corner.
And then I thought it was Daryl just offhandedly says, you've lost 2 boyfriends and you don't even care. And I'm like, who is that? Oh, I think he's talking about Patrick in the very first or the second season, who died in Dale's RV, and then Zach, who died at the big spot in this season.
Right.
Patrick died in the RV, and I was actually there. I heard him scream. It was in the season 2 finale. They were saying that actor actually has a fear of being eaten alive for some reason. And he screamed like it was something.
Wow. Oh, that sounds like a little girl.
So, and then next episode, number 13, Alone. I looked up Sterno on Wikipedia. It turns out there are many instances of people drinking it to become intoxicated. And it's kind of a hobo thing, which was interesting because Bob totally looked like a hobo in that flashback.
He kind of did.
All raggedy. I forgot, but Bob said he killed one person before because she asked him to.
Oh,
and
is that heartbreaking or what?
It makes me wonder what the situation was there. Like,
sounds pretty desperate. Whatever it was desperate, and there's nothing good.
Yeah, nothing good. I liked how one of the first things the claimers say when they all surround Daryl is, "I'm claiming the vest." That vest with the angel.
Oh God. It is a good vest.
All right, episode 14, The Grove. I noticed they played during that horrendous scene in the Grove with Lizzie and Mika. They play this long time moving Walking Dead music that you hear. It just takes you back to the first season, and it's very moving. And I think Bear McCreary knows just when to plop that in there.
Do you have a sample of it?
No, I don't. I'm sorry. You want me to sing it for you?
Yeah.
It goes, dun, ticka, bow, bow. No, I'm just kidding. I can't remember. I'm sorry. I totally should have had a sample, but I have played that before. But episode 15, Us. Tara is tortured about having been taken in by the governor. You know, that's kind of her whole thing right now. And I was thinking if Andrea was still alive, that storyline would be kind of redundant. But I hope they make it interesting in how she deals with it. And I think Maggie not knowing that Tara was with the governor when Herschel died was similar to Tyrese finding out that Carol killed Karen. So maybe does that make sense to you what I just said? I know I just threw a lot of names out there. So maybe to make it different from from Carol's storyline where she admits that she killed Karen and Tyrese forgives her, maybe Maggie won't forgive Tara for having something to do with her dad dying.
Right. Maggie seems like a pretty forgiving story, especially because Tara was helping to get Glenn home safe.
Yeah, maybe, yeah. But then Glenn lied about it. I don't know. I felt weird about that. It was nice of him.
It was nice of him, but then, like, why are you lying to your wife?
Yeah. It's kind of
like you could just sort of hint at, like, hey, she's one of us. It's okay.
Yeah.
You don't have to actually flat out lie, but
right.
I mean, he was doing it to kind of protect her.
Yeah.
And
it's going to come back to haunt him, I think.
It sure will. Wives don't like being lied to, men out there.
But, you know, Glenn is so honorable. Like in the tunnel, he was ready to die rather than leave Tara there alone.
Yeah, he was very honorable.
Yeah.
To a fault. And maybe rethinking, hey, should you have gone into the tunnel? Maybe not,
no,
Glenn.
I don't think so. It worked out okay. Let's see. When they get to Terminus, at the end of that episode, I noticed, that Mary said, "Let's get you settled and we'll make you a plate."
We'd like to have you for dinner.
Yeah, exactly. And then finally, episode 16, the very last one, A. I like how in the scene where the claimers attack, Rick headbutts the guy, Joe, and then he just kind of sits there intensely for a few seconds before he does anything else. And it reminded me of when on that old Hulk TV show, Bill Bixby used to turn into the Hulk. And he'd be like, "You're not going to like me when I'm angry." So we go into the Terminus area, infamous Terminus, and the room with the candles. There's writing on the wall, "Never again, never trust, we first, always." So that, to me, that means something bad happened. Don't trust anybody except for ourselves, right? So I think that that they're a tight knit group and they don't actually accept any newcomers, unlike what they're saying, except maybe as food.
Sounds like they had a governor kind of person in their lives before, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sounds pretty governor-esque. And maybe they can bond with the prison people because they both had a governor kind of experience. And maybe it'll all work out.
Maybe, yeah, maybe.
Probably not.
I don't think that would be very interesting. Let's just say that.
No, if everything was great, it wouldn't be very interesting at all.
Yeah. And if they want to get along with people, they shouldn't lock them up in train cars.
That's not a good way to bond.
It's not a good start. And what I wonder is, when last time we saw everybody else who got there, Glenn and his crew, and, we only saw them come up to Mary and she offered to make them a plate and she was really nice. And then the next time we see them, they're in the train car. So I'm curious about where the transition was there.
Ooh, that'd be kind of cool. It'd be great if they did a little flashback.
Yeah. How does that work? Are they, maybe they, are nice in order to throw people, off their guard, but then does somebody like give a signal and then they just, okay, we're not nice anymore,
Oh, and by the way, hand over the poncho and
right.
Watch, the pocket watch. I want that. I want the riot gear. But yeah. Yeah. How do they get them to get rid of that in a nice way? They can't.
No. Yeah. I think at some point they stopped being nice. Just like with.
Yeah.
All right. That's it. That's my number 5.
Wow. All right. My number 75 is Bob Stookey's flashback and his arc in episode 13 alone. Mm-hmm. And the first time I saw it, it broke my heart, and it broke my heart all over again. It's so good. I love that that particular episode was bookended by at the very beginning and the very ending with a Bob Stookey
flashback,
focusing on Bob Stookey's. Yeah, first we had the Bob Stookey flashback, which was beautiful, and it was so sad. And I know everybody has their trigger points, and mine seems to be something around being alone. And so when I see him alone, it makes me so sad. I cried again. It's the music, it's the actor.
So you totally got it when he said, "It doesn't matter who you guys are."
Yeah.
It's like, yep, I just want to be with some people.
It just matters that you guys are out here and I'm with somebody, because it sucks being alone. Oh, God, it made me cry. And then I love how at the beginning he gets his girls back. It's beautiful. It's so great. I love how also, I really, really like how he kind of starts resembling a zombie at a certain point when he's kind of shambling out
Michonne.
there. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Being alone, it ain't easy, and it screws with your head. And so it was beautiful. I really like that.
Is that the episode where he kisses Sasha on the tracks?
Yeah. He said, "I'm just going to try something."
Yeah. Is that a good pickup line?
Yes, that's
I'm going to try something
line.
here.
I'm just going to try something.
Okay.
Here.
I'm married, so I can try it with Jenny. I'll let you know. But some of you single guys out there, I want you to go out tonight and try that out.
I'm just going to try something.
Probably it's someone that you've already been talking to for a little while, not just that can't be your first line.
And gone through something major and had something sort of life altering.
That might be a little hard in a bar. To get going.
That would be hard in a bar.
Maybe. It's possible. Okay. My turn?
Yeah.
Okay. And then just like last time, I'm going to do great zombie moments. So, episode 9, they come in because it's the aftermath of the attack on the prison. The tank's sitting there, and they come in from above, showing the zombies around the tank, which is just like either the pilot or episode 2 of the first season with the tank in Georgia. I thought that was great.
Yeah.
The scene with the 3 zombies attacking Carl, how it kind of got out of his control and he tripped. I love that scene.
Oh, it was so great. Even the second time around, you know how it was going to end
Yeah,
up. It was
still
still great.
tense,
Yeah,
totally.
he
But
wins.
the scenes that got me because I forgot about them, there are more jump scares in this back half than I think any other time in the season. Like when Carl's scouting through houses while his dad is unconscious, and I think he's slightly opening a door and a zombie goes, "Rah!" And I'm like, I totally jumped. I'm like, damn it.
There were a lot like that. Yeah, it was full of them.
And that was a great zombie. Remember, the books were getting in the way of the door, and he looked really evil. And then, I forgot while he was sitting on the roof eating his pudding. I think it's that same zombie. He's trying to reach through the window and grab Carl. And Carl just sort of ignores him. He's fine.
Whatever. Yeah,
I
got
like
a
this
hand out for
pudding.
me.
In episode 10, there was another jump scare. Maggie scanning the dirty windows of the bus, and a zombie goes, "Rah!" right in the bus.
Yeah, that was a good jump scare too.
Episode 12, I loved this before and I loved it again when Daryl and Beth hid in the trunk and the zombies swarmed through. I just like the idea of being right in the middle of them and so close. It's creepy.
Yeah, it is really, really
It
creepy.
was a good idea
Yeah.
for a scene. I forgot in that episode when they're in the golf country club, Daryl knocks off a chunk of a zombie's face with a golf club, and it goes right all over Beth's shirt.
I was gonna say it messes up her. No, it messes up her white cardigan. And I'm
See,
like, why,
class
honey,
warfare.
Yep, exactly. But why the heck choose a white cardigan? Like, come on.
I don't know. It reminds me of. Did you ever watch Karate Kid?
No.
Well, Daniel, you've never watched Karate Kid. Oh my God. That's one of my favorite movies of all time. It's kind of a teenage boy thing, actually. But anyways.
I think I do need to patch that little gap.
Yeah. I'll watch it with you.
Okay.
I've seen it like 30 times.
Maybe
Anyways.
we need a movie night and watch Karate Kid.
Okay. On your big screen.
Yeah.
That would be fucking awesome.
Let's do it.
Okay. But there's one scene where he goes to pick up this girl and it's also about class. It's all about class, and it's at a Beverly Hills club or something. And he goes to the kitchen and he accidentally knocks into one of the cooks and gets spaghetti sauce all over his outfit, which just happens to be totally white pants, white shirt. And then everybody laughs at him and points at him.
Oh.
Anyway, okay, episode 13, Alone. The zombies coming out of the fog from all directions, attacking Sasha, Bob, and Maggie. Love that.
Was it fog? Did we decide it was fog, or did we think it was smoke from the fire?
Oh, I didn't ever think about that. They weren't really coughing, were they? Or were they? I can't remember now.
They weren't coughing,
No,
so
then I
it's
think
probably
it's gotta be,
fog,
yeah.
and it's kind of swampy around there. So, okay,
So,
let's
yeah.
go with fog.
It's either fog or they should have had them coughing, because that's a lot of smoke.
Right? Yes.
Episode 13, The Grove, when this isn't a great moment, but it's a zombie thing. Tyrese and Lizzie are sitting on the tracks, and she says, "I spy trees and weeds, your turn." And he looks over and he sees a zombie coming up the tracks. I thought he was going to say, "I spy a walker." But he didn't say it. And then, of course, the crispy fried zombies in that episode were pretty awesome. Menacing, smoke coming off of them.
Oh
Remember
God, that was good.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to mention that to Greg Nicotero because truly,
Oh yeah,
that's
right. Yeah, we got to ask him about that. I also want to totally ask him about the Pete zombie in the lake. How they did that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh God, that was so good.
And then the last one, in episode 14, Us, the zombies reaching out from the rubble of the cave-in inside the tunnel was awesome. And then the other zombies just wandering around in there. And then there was that Bub tribute zombie walking around in there too.
Oh,
From Day of the Dead.
Yeah. This season I thought the zombies got even better. I wonder how they're going to look in season 5.
I know. I mean, they just keep getting better and better.
Right. And they have to be skinnier. They have to be more emaciated.
That's what they say, and they do. And I saw this website that showed season to season how they've evolved. But this last season only covered, I think, just like a couple weeks or something.
Yeah, it was very short. You're
Yeah.
absolutely
And
right.
then
There hasn't been much time.
the next season starts up right where it leaves off. So
Are you sure? Because wouldn't it be hilarious if they started off like a couple weeks later?
and they're like, "Wow, that was an amazing adventure we just had."
Yeah,
You should
my
have seen
God,
it.
wasn't it? And the couple of major characters are not there, and nobody ever mentions
they don't
it.
talk about it.
Right.
They're like,
That would be hilarious, and we can just figure out what happened.
and they're like, "Sorry about Maggie." Yeah. Oh, well.
Yeah. If only that one thing didn't happen. Yeah, but it did.
Yeah, that was pretty horrendous and interesting. Well, Gimple has said, they've all said it starts right back up where it left, and you can tell by the preview snippets that they've put out
You don't think that that's just a red herring?
that they filmed all that stuff just to throw us off the track.
This direction?
be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe they just skip right over Terminus.
Okay, you heard it here first.
I said it would be funny. I didn't say I'd want it necessarily.
All right, that's
All
it
right,
for
so-
mine. You're number 3.
Speaking of Terminus, my number 3 is the mystery of Terminus. I loved how they started to feed us a little bit of Terminus in, I think, at the end of didn't we hear the radio
Yeah, that's right.
in the end of season 3? And then we heard
No, it was at the beginning of this season, but it was in one of those
Beginning of
early
season.
episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they kind of gave it to us. It was fun to hear it on the radio during that run that they were on. And I really wanted it to be a good place. I really wanted to believe in it. And I have the feeling that it's not going to be a good place, but I don't know. I think we've seen the Boneyard so far. We've seen how hostile they are. We've seen their crazy candle weird tribute room, and they're clearly insane out of their heads and just eating people like crazy. So clearly it's not a good place, but I was so bummed when I first saw them entering Terminus and it had the pretty music and the flowers, and I was thinking, oh, is this going to
So
be such a
nice.
great thing? And look there's what's her name from Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Yeah, and she's a good guy.
Yeah, and look she's offering them barbecue. Who doesn't like some hospitality?
That pretty
at this
music was a bald-faced lie.
It turned out to be very weird and creepy. So yeah, and I loved how they had the cliffhanger ending. So that was that's my number 3.
Yeah, it felt like an old-fashioned kind of thing to have that cliffhanger. I loved it.
Yep. And they were being herded.
And it's a great story, just the whole thing. And the signs on the road and everybody finding them, it felt a little bit of a coincidence, but I was still taken in by it. Like, just really interesting way to frame the whole season and have everybody sort of stumble onto the same road at different times and stuff like that. Pretty cool.
Exactly.
Okay, my number 3 is connective tissue. Not literally, but the places and objects and themes that show up and reverberate throughout the season. Because there was a lot of that this season. One of the biggest ones was that radio message and the Terminus signs everywhere.
Right.
But you see them going to the same places. Like Michonne, she ends up in the same house where the zombie almost killed Rick that had that sign saying, "Please do what I couldn't." That's how she knows they're on the right track.
Right.
Later, you hear Beth reading from her journal, talking about how great things are at the prison.
Oh.
Interspersed with how shitty they are now. So that it's really striking to just remember, oh man, they actually had it pretty good back then.
Yeah, and it doesn't look so bad now, does it?
And then later they have Glenn looking down when he stayed back at the prison for a little while, and you see all the zombies swarming around the prison grounds. Just that to me is like, oh man, this place that was relatively, I guess, safe now is infested. So
yes.
Compare and contrast. I think we might have talked about this one a little bit, but when we see Beth and Daryl, and they can't see it, but there's a log with some like mutilated bunnies tucked into it. Did you notice that?
No.
Bunny rabbits.
Yes. But yeah.
Then
Yes,
later
I
in
did
that
see
same episode, we see Lizzie she sees the bunnies when they're alive. Then she grabs her knife and then she starts cutting them up, but you don't see what she's doing. She just does that for fun.
Oh,
Then
she was a messed up chick.
yeah. Then in that same episode, Daryl is tracking and he sees a bunch of grapes on the ground and he tells Beth they picked up the pace right here. Things went bad. They got out in a hurry. And then a few scenes later, you see the girls picking grapes and
Yes.
because they're showing things out of order. And I'm like, oh, they were there. And, you know, something that bad is about to happen. Well, it turns out Mika got freaked out by birds and ran off and they chased after her.
Right. Exactly.
Then Daryl and Beth reach tracks and they see a bunch of zombies eating flesh and a lone shoe. And I think this was the same scene when we go back to Tyrese. He hears that scream and he goes to the tracks and people are fighting the zombies and they all end up dying. I think those are the same people that Beth and Daryl saw, but I'm not sure.
Maybe.
Yeah. Then Glenn looks at a picture that he took of Maggie sleeping back in episode 2. So that's just like an object that shows up.
And then she burns it weirdly.
Which I think is a bad omen.
Me too.
It's tempting fate. You'll never need this again.
Yeah, exactly. Let's just burn this.
Yeah.
You know what? Cameras are everywhere, so we'll be fine. We can take more if we need.
Well, she's saying we'll always be together and nothing will ever separate us again.
Yeah. No, don't say that.
She likes to have faith like that. She just likes to be like, we're going to find him. Everything's going to be okay.
Right.
That's part of Maggie's character. I noticed in the Claimers that when Rick was under the bed, I think he was clutching that watch that Carol gave him.
Oh.
And then there's flowers everywhere. There's a sunflower on the wall in one of the houses. Flower, what?
Yeah, I was just thinking sunflowers on the way to Terminus.
Flowers in the prison garden in the beginning of the season. Yeah, flowers at Terminus. I think flowers represent, and then of course there's Lizzie. Look at the flowers, Lizzie, when that first comes up when
flowers are bad.
They're killing her dad. And then later it's when, you know, Carol's going to kill her. To me, that's like flowers are like representing, oh, look, let's ignore the reality of this world and pretend that it's pretty kind of thing. Or it's sort of like, you know, hiding away from reality.
Yeah, flowers are bad.
Mm-hmm. If you ever see a flower, something bad is going to happen. But I like how that whole saying, look at the flowers, kind of became a thing. Like I think on panels after that, the actors would joke around. They'd be like, hey, look at the flowers.
That's funny.
Then there's the whole thing about trying to guess what Daryl did before the apocalypse. Zach did that early. I think he guessed undercover cop. And then later Beth guesses motorcycle mechanic, then prison guard. And
motorcycle mechanic is probably a pretty good guess.
Yeah. Looks like a grease monkey. But we finally learned that he was just drifting around with Merle and probably committing crimes. I think, right? Because I don't know. We actually don't learn that. He just says he was drifting around with Merle, following his lead.
Probably don't have to earn a whole lot of money if you're hunting a lot.
Yeah, I think they were just hunting.
Yeah.
And then, of course, there's the house that Daryl and Beth torched. I'm pretty convinced that that's the same, that plume of smoke that Carol and Tyrese and the kids see is from that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I noticed this time in one episode, Sasha tells Bob, go to sleep because it's her watch. And he tries for a second but can't. And then the next episode, Carol tells Lizzie to go to sleep because it's her watch. Then the next episode, Tara tells Abraham to go to sleep. It's her watch. I wondered if the writers did that on purpose.
It's good. Well spotted.
Couple more. Daryl sees Carl's discarded Big Cat candy bar wrapper on the train tracks. And then, of course,